Commander Sarah Chen stood at attention in the United Nations Security Council chamber, her dress uniform pristine despite the suffocating tension in the room. The 7-foot-tall alien diplomat, Ambassador Zixtal, towered over the assembled human representatives, his crystalline exoskeleton reflecting the harsh fluorescent lights. "Your species is an anomaly," Zixtal's translated voice echoed through the chamber. "The Galactic Consortium has observed thousands of civilizations, but none quite so peculiar as humanity." Chen maintained her stoic expression, though her fingers twitched near her ceremonial sword. 20 years of Special Forces experience had taught her to read body language across cultures, and everything about the alien's posture screamed contempt. "We've monitored your broadcasts, your conflicts, your endless warfare," Zixtal continued. "Most species achieve unity before reaching your level of technology. Yet here you stand, divided, primitive, still killing each other over resources and ideology." The assembled diplomats shifted uncomfortably, but Chen stepped forward. "With respect, Ambassador, those very conflicts have forged us into who we are. Each war, each battle, has taught us lessons in survival and adaptation." A sound like breaking glass filled the room. Alien laughter. "Lessons. Your most advanced weapons would barely scratch our civilian vessels. Your nuclear deterrents are children's toys compared to our arsenal. What could you possibly teach us about warfare?" Chen's eyes narrowed. Perhaps a demonstration would be more convincing than words. The alien's crystalline structure shifted to a deep purple. "Are you threatening the Galactic Consortium, Commander?" "Not threatening, Ambassador. Warning. Earth has been invaded many times throughout our history. By our own kind, yes, but each time the invaders learned the same lesson. Humans don't break. We adapt. We survive. We overcome." Zixtal's translator crackled with static as he spoke. "Your species has one planetary cycle to submit to consortium oversight and begin disarmament. If you refuse, we will provide a demonstration of true military might." As the alien delegation departed, Chen's aide approached. "Commander, should we alert the Defense Council?" Chen watched the alien ship ascend through the atmosphere, a cold smile playing at her lips. "No. Alert everyone. The aliens just made their first mistake. They told us exactly when they're coming. Over the next 30 days, humanity prepared. Not with grand space fleets or energy weapons, but in ways the consortium would never expect. Guerrilla fighters from a dozen nations shared centuries of accumulated knowledge about fighting superior forces. Engineering teams studied every scrap of alien technology they could acquire, finding weaknesses in their seemingly perfect systems. The consortium's deadline arrived with the rising sun. Massive ships darkened the skies over every major city, their weapons charged and ready. They expected surrender. Instead, they found empty streets and disabled power grids. No easy targets, no central command centers to destroy. Chen stood in a hardened bunker deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, watching tactical displays light up across the globe. "All units, execute Operation Achilles." The aliens had superior technology, yes, but they'd never fought an enemy who could turn their own electromagnetic emissions against them, who could use simple mirror arrays to redirect their energy weapons, who had spent centuries perfecting the art of asymmetric warfare. They hadn't just underestimated humanity's military capability, they'd underestimated our greatest weapon. The hard-earned wisdom of countless generations who had faced overwhelming odds and refused to break. As the first alien ships began falling from the sky, taken down by surprisingly effective primitive weapons, Commander Chen opened a channel to the consortium flagship. "Ambassador Zixtal, I believe it's time for that demonstration we discussed. Shall we begin the lesson?" The rainforests of Vietnam had never seen anything like this. Captain Maya Rodriguez crouched in the undergrowth, her adaptive camouflage suit blending seamlessly with the vegetation. Above, 3 consortium scout vessels hovered, their sensors sweeping the canopy for any sign of human resistance. They wouldn't find any. Not with their technology. All units maintain position. Maya whispered into her throat mic, using old-school radio frequencies the aliens hadn't bothered to monitor. Her team had spent weeks studying the alien sensors' limitations. High-tech scanning equipment looked for high-tech threats. They weren't designed to detect simple things like tripwires, pitfall traps, or fighters wearing suits made from local organic materials. The first scout ship drifted lower, its gravitational field barely disturbing the leaves. Perfect. Maya raised her hand, 3 fingers extended. 2. 1. Dozens of simple mirrors, positioned throughout the canopy, suddenly angled upward. The scout ship's own energy emissions reflected back at them, creating a cascade of sensor feedback that their sophisticated systems couldn't handle. The vessels wavered, their anti-gravity fields fluctuating. Phase 2. Execute. Her soldiers emerged from hiding, not with energy weapons or advanced technology, but with simple projectile launchers loaded with specialized ammunition, ceramic-coated rounds that the alien shields weren't calibrated to stop. The ship's hulls, designed to withstand energy weapons, proved surprisingly vulnerable to good old-fashioned kinetic impacts. 2 vessels crashed into the jungle floor. The third managed to stabilize, but only briefly before a net woven from carbon fiber and studded with electromagnetic disruptors, courtesy of reversed-engineered alien tech, entangled its propulsion systems. Command, this is Jaguar Team. 3 bandits down. Beginning salvage operations. Back at the regional command center, Commander Chen's voice crackled through the secure channel. Good work, Captain. Similar operations are succeeding worldwide. The consortium never expected us to turn their own technology against them so effectively. Maya watched as her engineers swarmed the downed vessels. They still don't understand, do they? Every piece of their tech we capture teaches us more about their weaknesses. No, they don't understand. Their military doctrine is based on overwhelming force and superior technology. They've never faced an enemy who excels at asymmetric warfare. In orbit, Ambassador Zixtal received the latest battle reports with increasing agitation. His crystalline form had darkened to an almost black hue, a sign of extreme distress. Impossible, he hissed at his tactical officers. These primitives are using reflected light and simple projectiles to defeat our most advanced scout ships. Where are their energy weapons? Their space fleet. His chief military advisor's crystalline surface rippled with uncertainty. Sir, we're detecting unusual patterns in human resistance. They're not fighting as a unified force. Each region is adapting different tactics, using local terrain and conditions against us. We can't predict their strategies because they don't follow any standard military doctrine. Then we'll simply overwhelm them with numbers, Zixtal declared. Deploy the primary invasion force. Back in the jungle, Maya's team had already stripped the fallen scout ships of useful technology. Everything would be analyzed, adapted, and repurposed. Human engineers were already developing hybrid weapons that combined consortium tech with Earth's primitive but effective designs. Command, we're tracking multiple orbital signatures, her sensor operator reported. Looks like they're finally bringing in the heavy hitters. Maya smiled, checking her modified rifle, now enhanced with salvaged alien power cells. Good. More ships means more technology to capture and reverse engineer. Relay our coordinates to all regional teams. Time to show them why Earth forces have been practicing guerrilla warfare for centuries. Across the planet, similar scenes played out. In the deserts of North Africa, Bedouin warriors led alien pursuit craft into sandstorms that shorted out their sensitive electronics. In the Arctic, Canadian special forces used the magnetic pole's interference to ambush consortium patrols. In urban centers, resistance fighters turned subway tunnels and sewer systems into deadly mazes. Each engagement taught the humans more about their enemy's capabilities and limitations. Each captured piece of technology was quickly dissected, understood, and improved upon. The consortium had expected to find a primitive species easy to subjugate. Instead, they found an enemy that grew stronger with every defeat, that learned and adapted faster than any species they'd encountered before. Commander Chen's voice came through Maya's comm again. "Captain, intel suggests they're preparing a major push. Multiple capital ships entering atmosphere." "Let them come," Maya replied, watching her troops prepare their positions. "They still haven't learned the most important lesson about fighting humans." "And what's that, Captain?" "The more force they use, the more resources they give us to turn against them. They're not just fighting Earth's military. They're fighting against every lesson we've learned from thousands of years of warfare. And those lessons are about to get very, very expensive for them." Dr. Aisha Patel stared at her holographic display in horror as the data streamed in from observatories worldwide. The consortium's newest weapons were unlike anything they'd deployed before. Massive orbital platforms that bent gravity itself. "Commander Chen, you need to see this," she transmitted from her research facility deep beneath the Indian Ocean. "They're not trying to destroy our cities anymore. They're trying to break the planet itself." In the command center, Chen watched as the first gravitational wave hit South America. Mountains rippled like water. Entire cities shifted and buckled. But instead of panic, something unexpected happened. Decades of dealing with earthquakes and natural disasters had prepared humanity for this moment. Emergency protocols activated automatically. Underground shelters, built to withstand nuclear war, absorbed millions of civilians. Teams of disaster response experts, veterans of countless tsunamis and earthquakes, mobilized with practiced efficiency. "Dr. Patel," Chen responded, "tell me you have something we can use against these platforms." Aisha's fingers flew across her haptic interface. The consortium made another mistake. They assumed we wouldn't understand gravitational manipulation at our technology level. But we've been studying gravity since Einstein. We might not be able to generate gravitational waves, but we understand exactly how they work. Around the world, humanity's response took shape. In CERN, particle physicists repurposed their colliders to create localized gravitational distortions. In Japan, earthquake warning systems were modified to predict and counter the alien attacks. Russian Space Command transformed their old satellite network into a makeshift gravity wave detection grid. Ambassador Zixtal watched from his flagship, his crystalline form pulsing with confusion. How are they still functioning? These weapons have brought dozens of species to their knees. His science officer's response was hesitant. "Sir, they're adapting. Their scientists are already developing countermeasures. Their infrastructure, hardened by centuries of natural disasters, is proving remarkably resilient. And their population. What about their population? Instead of breaking, they're unifying. Former enemy nations are sharing resources and technology. Regional conflicts have ceased. The humans are cooperating in ways our predictive models didn't think possible." Deep underground, Aisha's team had made a breakthrough. "Commander, we found their weakness. The gravity platforms require incredible precision to function. Even small disruptions in their control systems could cause catastrophic feedback loops." Chen's voice was steady despite the constant tremors. "What do you need?" "Every satellite we can control. Every radio telescope. Every particle accelerator. We're going to turn Earth's entire communications infrastructure into one massive gravity wave detector, and then we're going to turn it into a weapon." The next 24 hours saw humanity's greatest cooperative effort in history. Chinese supercomputers coordinated with American satellites. European particle accelerators synchronized with African radio telescopes. Indian programmers worked alongside Pakistani engineers to rewrite software on the fly. When the counterattack came, it wasn't with advanced weapons or sophisticated technology. Instead, humanity used its greatest strength, the ability to understand, adapt, and repurpose natural forces. They turned the consortium's own gravitational weapons against them, creating resonance cascades that shattered the orbital platforms. In his flagship, Zixtal watched in disbelief as his ultimate weapons torn themselves apart. "Impossible. They're using basic physics principles to defeat our most advanced technology." The science officer's crystalline surface had paled to an almost white shade of fear. "Sir, we've detected unusual energy readings from their planet's magnetic field. They're using our gravity waves to strengthen it. They're learning to manipulate fundamental forces through pure observation and adaptation." Through the chaos, Dr. Patel's voice reached Commander Chen again. "The platforms are destroyed, but we've learned something crucial. Their entire technology base relies on precise gravitational control. And now we know exactly how it works." Chen finished. "Send everything you've learned to all Earth defense forces. It's time to take this fight to them." Across the planet, humans emerged from their shelters to see the orbital platforms falling like burning stars. But they didn't celebrate yet. Instead, they began rebuilding, adapting, strengthening their defenses. The consortium had tried to break Earth's spirit with their ultimate weapon, but they had only succeeded in teaching humanity how to harness one of the fundamental forces of the universe. In her underground lab, Aisha smiled as new data poured in. "Commander, you should see what we can do with gravity now that we understand it properly. I think it's time we showed the consortium why challenging human scientists was their biggest mistake yet." The sprawling underground facility beneath the Australian outback hummed with activity. Dr. Marcus Wong moved through the crowded laboratory space, where teams of engineers hunched over salvaged alien technology. Every captured piece of consortium equipment had revealed new secrets, and humans were proving remarkably adept at improving upon the original designs. "Show me what you've got," he said to a group of engineers examining a damaged alien power core. The team leader, Dr. Elena Volkov, gestured to a holographic display showing the device's internal structure. "Their power generation is elegant but overcomplicated," Elena explained, her hands moving through the hologram. "They've designed everything to work under perfect conditions. No redundancies, no fail-safes. They never considered what would happen if someone deliberately introduced chaos into their systems." Marcus nodded, watching as she demonstrated their modifications. They had taken the alien power core's precise but fragile design and reinforced it with human engineering principles, backup systems, emergency shutdowns, and the ability to function even when damaged. "Command, this is Research Station Echo," Marcus transmitted. "You're going to want to see this." Hours later, Commander Chen and Captain Rodriguez materialized in the facility's secure briefing room via holographic projection, another piece of adapted alien tech. Maya's jungle camouflage uniform contrasted sharply with Chen's formal attire, but both women shared the same intense focus. "Dr. Wong," Chen nodded, "I understand you've made some significant breakthroughs." Marcus gestured, and the room filled with technical displays. "The consortium's technology is incredibly advanced, but it has a critical weakness. It's designed to be perfect, not resilient. They've never had to worry about their equipment being damaged or repurposed because they've never fought an enemy capable of doing either." Maya leaned forward, studying the schematics. "And we're doing both." "Exactly. We're not just copying their technology. We're improving it, making it tougher, more adaptable. Their ships are designed to operate in the vacuum of space. Ours," he smiled, "ours will fight anywhere." Around the world, similar revelations were emerging. In Brazil, engineers had modified alien shield technology to work with Earth's magnetic field, creating a planetary defense system far more robust than the consortium's original design. Japanese scientists had taken the aliens' precise but limited gravity manipulation and turned it into something more versatile, able to adapt to changing conditions on the fly. But the biggest breakthrough came from an unexpected source. In a makeshift lab in Kenya, a team of traditional weaponsmiths working alongside quantum physicists had discovered something remarkable about the aliens' energy weapons. "The principles are similar to throwing a spear," the lead weaponsmith explained to a fascinated group of scientists. "Their weapons try to maintain perfect control over the energy from firing to impact. But we've learned over thousands of years that sometimes you need to let physics do the work." The result was a hybrid weapon that combined alien energy projection with human ballistic principles. It was less elegant than the consortium's weapons, but far more effective in actual combat conditions. In orbit, Ambassador Zixtal received increasingly disturbing reports. Human ships, cobbled together from salvaged consortium technology and Earth materials, were appearing in growing numbers. They were ugly by alien standards, asymmetrical, over-engineered, bristling with redundant systems, but they were proving nearly impossible to disable. How are they doing this? He demanded of his engineering team. Their modifications violate dozens of design principles. His chief engineer's crystalline form flickered with distress. They're not trying to achieve perfection, sir. They're building for survival. Every system has backups. Every component can be repaired with primitive tools. They're taking our technology and making it human. Back in the Australian facility, Marcus received word that his latest innovation was ready for testing. In a massive underground chamber, a prototype vessel hung suspended in a gravitational cradle. It looked nothing like the sleek consortium ships. Instead, it resembled something from Earth's naval history. Battleships that could take massive damage and keep fighting. The consortium thinks technology has to be perfect to be effective, he told Chen and Maya through the holographic link. We're about to show them why they're wrong. This ship isn't just designed to survive combat. It's designed to get stronger from it. Every hit it takes, every system that gets damaged, teaches its adaptive algorithms new ways to fight back. Chen's hologram smiled. How long until we can begin production? That's the best part, Marcus replied. We've designed it to be manufactured using a combination of alien tech and Earth's existing industrial base. We can start building these worldwide within days. Maya leaned forward. The aliens wanted to break us with their superior technology. Instead, they gave us exactly what we needed to defeat them. Not just defeat them, Marcus corrected. Surpass them. Everything they've thrown at us, we've learned from and improved upon. They've spent centuries perfecting their technology. We've spent centuries perfecting the art of adaptation itself. As if to emphasize his point, alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. Multiple consortium capital ships entering atmosphere. A tactical officer announced. They're making another push. But this time, no one showed any sign of concern. Humanity had spent months learning, adapting, and preparing. Now it was time to show the consortium what their technology could really do in the hands of a species that had mastered the art of turning adversity into advantage. Commander Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the HSV Resilient, Earth's first hybrid warship, watching as the massive consortium fleet descended through the atmosphere. The vessel around her was a testament to human ingenuity. A perfect fusion of alien technology and human engineering principles. Where consortium ships were sleek and symmetrical, the Resilient was angular and armored, built to take punishment and adapt. All Earth Defense Forces, this is command, she broadcast globally. Execute Operation Phoenix. Across the planet, humanity's response unfolded. From underground bases, modified ships rose to meet the alien fleet. From the oceans, submarines equipped with reverse-engineered gravity drives surfaced. From mountain fortresses, advanced weapon systems powered up. Each installation represented a different nation's approach to adapting alien technology, creating a defense network as diverse as humanity itself. In his flagship, Ambassador Zixtal watched the human counter-deployment with growing horror. What have they done to our technology? Those designs should be impossible. His tactical officer's crystalline form pulsed with agitation. Sir, we're detecting multiple hybrid energy signatures. They've combined our technology with their primitive weapons in ways our simulations can't predict. The battle began with a consortium energy barrage that would have annihilated Earth's forces just months ago. Now hybrid shields absorbed the attacks, using the energy to strengthen themselves. Another innovation born from humanity's long experience with turning enemy strength against itself. Return fire, Chen ordered. Show them what human ingenuity can do. The Resilient's main weapon was a perfect example of human adaptation. It combined a consortium gravity lance with principles from old railroad guns, creating a weapon that could punch through alien shields by exploiting the very gravitational fields meant to protect them. In the Australian Command Center, Dr. Wong coordinated the global research network. All stations, upload your combat data. Let's show them how humans learn from experience. Each engagement taught Earth's forces more about their enemy's capabilities. Each destroyed ship provided new insights into consortium technology. The aliens fought with perfect coordination and flawless tactics, but they couldn't adapt to the chaos humans intentionally introduced into every battle. Maya Rodriguez, leading a squadron of hybrid fighters, demonstrated this perfectly. Her pilots flew in patterns that seemed random to the aliens, but drew from centuries of aerial combat experience. Break formation, she commanded. Show them why Earth pilots train for worst-case scenarios. The consortium fighters, programmed for optimal performance, couldn't handle the unpredictable maneuvers. Maya's squadron tore through their ranks, using modified weapons that combined alien energy projection with good old-fashioned dogfighting tactics. Dr. Patel's voice came through the command channel. Commander, the gravitational sensors are showing something interesting. Their fleet movements, they're becoming erratic. Chen smiled. The aliens were finally learning fear. Your species is impossible. Zixtal's transmission burst across all frequencies. You take our perfect technology and corrupt it with primitive modifications. You ignore established military doctrine. You fight without logic or reason. No, Ambassador, Chen replied calmly. We fight with the logic of survival, the reason of adaptation. You gave us access to advanced technology, expecting us to break under its power. Instead, we did what humans have always done. We learned, we adapted, we improved. The Resilient sensors showed more consortium ships arriving from orbit, but there was no concern on the bridge. Each new alien vessel meant more opportunities to learn, to adapt, to grow stronger. You still don't understand what makes humanity different, do you? Chen continued. We don't seek perfection. We strive for resilience. Every failure teaches us. Every setback makes us stronger. Your technology is impressive, Ambassador, but our greatest weapon has always been our ability to learn from adversity. As if to demonstrate her point, the Resilient absorbed a direct hit from a consortium capital ship. Instead of failing, its hybrid systems adapted, redistributing power in ways the aliens had never considered possible. The return shot carried the combined knowledge of human warfare and alien technology, striking with devastating effect. Final warning, Ambassador, Chen broadcast. Earth is offering terms for your withdrawal. You've seen what we can do with just a few months of access to your technology. Imagine what we'll achieve in a year. 5 years. A decade. The silence that followed was broken only by the continuing sounds of battle. Then, slowly, the consortium fleet began to pull back. This isn't over, Zixtal transmitted. No, Chen agreed. But it is change. You came to teach us our place in the galaxy. Instead, you taught us how to reach for the stars. We'll be out there soon, Ambassador. And we'll bring with us every lesson you've helped us learn. As the alien fleet retreated, cheers erupted in command centers worldwide. But Chen noticed that many of Earth's defenders, particularly the veterans, remained focused on their stations. They knew that this victory wasn't an ending, it was a beginning. Humanity had proven itself against an advanced alien civilization not through superior technology or overwhelming force, but through our unique ability to learn, adapt, and overcome. The stars were no longer a distant dream but a promise, and humanity would meet that promise the same way we'd met every challenge in our history, with determination, creativity, and the unshakable will to survive and thrive against any odds.